In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on February 1st, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Atlanta Hawks versus Indiana Pacers. This Saturday afternoon, basketball fans will witness an exciting matchup between 2 Eastern Conference teams as the Atlanta Hawks take on the Indiana Pacers on the hardwood floor in the Hoosier State. Atlanta enters this contest looking to bounce back after suffering a crushing 137-115 road defeat at the hands of the Cleveland Cavaliers on Thursday night, a game in which they failed to cover the spread as significant 11.5-point underdogs. Meanwhile, Indiana is riding a wave of momentum following a commanding 133-119 home victory over the Detroit Pistons on Wednesday night, easily covering the spread as 6-point favorites. When looking at the all-time regular season series between these two franchises, the Hawks hold a slight historical edge with a 109-99 record. However, recent history favors the Pacers as they swept all 4 meetings last season. That dominance included a particularly lopsided 157-115 home victory in their most recent clash on April 14, 2024. As the Hawks gear up for this game, they continue to deal with key injuries as Clint Capela, Jalen Johnson, and Bogdan Bogdanovic remain sidelined. On the other side, the Pacers are closely monitoring the statuses of Andrew Nembhard and Benedict Mathurin, who are both questionable to suit up. When analyzing this matchup, recent form plays a critical role, and the Pacers have been one of the hottest teams in the NBA. Indiana has emerged victorious in 10 of their last 12 games, showcasing an offensive rhythm that has been difficult for opponents to contain. A key factor in their recent success has been Pascal Siakam, who delivered a standout 37-point performance in their latest win over Detroit. Conversely, the Hawks are in a rough patch, having lost 7 consecutive games. Their struggles stem largely from a porous defense, as they currently rank among the bottom 4 teams in the league in defensive efficiency. Opposing offenses have had a field day against Atlanta, exploiting their weaknesses and consistently putting up high point totals. Additionally, the Hawks have been unreliable against the spread when playing away from home, posting an 11-14 record in such situations. Atlanta finds itself in a downward spiral, with their losing streak now extending to 7 games, and the team's injury concerns continue to mount. Losing Jalen Johnson for the season was a significant blow, as he had been one of their most consistent scoring threats. Adding to their woes, Trae Young was absent from Thursday's contest and has struggled with his shooting efficiency in recent outings. With both Bogdanovic and Capela also ruled out, the Hawks are severely short-handed. On the other hand, Indiana is on fire, winning 10 of their last 12 games while benefiting from an extended period of rest, having played just once in the past week. This scheduling advantage gives them fresher legs, which could be crucial in this matchup. With Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton leading the way offensively, the Pacers should have no trouble finding scoring opportunities, especially given that they will be playing in front of their home crowd. The Hawks' defensive struggles have been glaring, particularly during their ongoing losing streak, and the sheer volume of injuries only compounds their issues. While Indiana has some injury concerns of its own, bettors should keep an eye on the status of Nembhard and Mathurin before making any wagers. That being said, the Pacers have been playing some of their best basketball of the season, posting an impressive 8-2 record against the spread and straight up in their last 10 games. Additionally, Indiana has completely dominated Atlanta in their recent meetings, winning 4 straight matchups and eclipsing the 150-point mark in 3 of those victories. This game has all the makings of another blowout in favor of the Pacers. While the Hawks have shown flashes of their potential at times, they are currently stuck in a brutal slump, making it difficult to trust them in this spot. While an upset is always possible in the NBA, the Pacers have been a model of consistency, and all signs point to them continuing their strong run. So the Indiana Pacers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both teams have shown a tendency to play high-scoring games this season, with Atlanta hitting the over in 27 of their 48 contests, along with 2 pushes, while Indiana has seen the over cash in 25 of their 46 games, resulting in a 25-19-2 record. Defensive shortcomings have plagued the Hawks all year, and over their last 10 games, they have surrendered an average of 113.5 points per contest. That is a concerning statistic when preparing to face an Indiana squad that has been putting up 118 points per game over their last 10 outings. The Pacers have maintained this high offensive output throughout the season when playing at home, where they are also averaging 118 points per game. Both teams prefer an up-tempo style of play, with Atlanta ranking 3rd in the league at 103 possessions per game, while Indiana is not far behind, sitting 9th with an average of 99.6 possessions per game. Given this fast-paced nature of play, it is no surprise that 8 of the last 10 meetings between these teams have gone over the total, and there is every reason to expect a similar outcome here. From a betting perspective, the over has been a strong trend for both teams this season. When playing at home, the Pacers have posted a 12-7-1 record to the over, while the Hawks have seen the total exceed expectations in 27 of their 48 contests. This matchup sets up perfectly for another high-scoring affair, as both squads play at a rapid pace and struggle defensively. Atlanta currently ranks as the 2nd fastest team in the NBA in terms of pace, while Indiana is right behind them, ranking 10th overall. With both teams looking to push the tempo and put points on the board, all signs point toward a game that features plenty of scoring. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Orlando Magic versus Utah Jazz. The Orlando Magic, currently sitting in 7th place in the Eastern Conference, are preparing to take on the Utah Jazz, who find themselves at the bottom of the Western Conference standings in 15th place. This matchup is set for February 1st at the Delta Center. The Magic enter this contest on a 2-game losing streak, most recently suffering a tough 119-90 road defeat at the hands of the Portland Trail Blazers on Thursday. Meanwhile, the Jazz are struggling even more, enduring an 8-game losing skid after falling 138-113 at home against the Minnesota Timberwolves on Thursday. This marks the 2nd and final meeting between these two teams this season, with Utah having secured a 105-92 road victory over Orlando on January 5th. Orlando will continue to be without Moritz Wagner, and there is uncertainty surrounding Jalen Suggs, who is currently listed as questionable for this matchup. On the other hand, the Jazz remain without the services of Cody Williams and Johnny Juzang. When examining the net ratings of these teams, it is evident that they are performing at distinctly different levels. The Magic rank 19th in the NBA with a net rating of -1.5, whereas the Jazz sit much lower at 28th with a net rating of -7.8. One key area that highlights the disparity between these two squads is their ability to capitalize on turnovers. Orlando is among the league's best in this department, ranking 8th overall with an average of 19 points per game off turnovers. Conversely, Utah sits at the very bottom of the NBA in this category, producing only 13.5 points off turnovers per game. The Utah Jazz are gradually improving in terms of player availability, which could be a factor to watch moving forward. However, despite getting healthier, their overall struggles have persisted, as they have only managed to secure 10 wins all season, with just 3 of those victories coming at home. On the flip side, while the Magic have been getting key players back into their lineup, their recent form has been concerning, as they hold a 2-8 straight-up record over their last 10 games, including a disappointing loss to the Trail Blazers. That being said, the Magic have previously demonstrated their capabilities when at full strength, and they deserve the benefit of the doubt in this matchup. Given their earlier performances this season, it is reasonable to expect Orlando to return to a higher level of play. There are simply no excuses for them here. Although Orlando has been mired in its worst slump of the season, it is only a matter of time before they start to turn things around, especially as they reintegrate key players into the lineup. Unfortunately for the Jazz, the same cannot be said, as they have continued to struggle despite getting several players back from injury. The Magic have significantly more potential, led by standout player Paolo Banchero, who continues to be a bright spot for the team. Orlando cannot afford to drop this game, especially as they battle to maintain their position in the Eastern Conference standings. The betting line for this contest is reasonable, so the Orlando Magic to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. These defenses are showing they will struggle lately, as the Magic are allowing 119 points in their previous 3 games, while the Jazz are giving up 125 points in their last 5 games. Both teams are struggling to defend the perimeter, as Utah is 17th in the NBA with a 36 opposing three-point percentage, while Orlando is 24th with a 36.9 three-point percentage against. The over has hit in 18 of Utah's last 26 games, which suggests a potential trend in this matchup. Both teams are relatively healthy and will be looking to end their respective losing streaks. While the Jazz typically play at an average pace, their opponents tend to record the shortest offensive possession lengths in the NBA, which could increase the game's tempo. The Magic, on the other hand, average the longest offensive possession length, but this dynamic should still lead to an uptick in pace. Although this game does not project to be an exceptionally high-scoring affair, the low total set for the matchup increases the value of betting on the over. If Orlando can find a better offensive rhythm against a Jazz team that boasts the NBA's worst defensive rating, Utah should be able to contribute just enough on the offensive end to push the score past the total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Denver Nuggets versus Charlotte Hornets. The Denver Nuggets are set to travel to the Spectrum Center on Saturday evening, where they will face off against the Charlotte Hornets in a non-conference matchup. The Nuggets currently hold the 4th spot in the Western Conference standings, boasting a 28-19 record. However, they are struggling at the moment, riding a 3-game losing streak, with their most recent defeat coming on Wednesday night in a 122-112 road loss to the New York Knicks. On the other hand, the Hornets find themselves near the bottom of the Eastern Conference, sitting at 14th place with a 12-32 record. They, too, have been having a tough time, as they are on a 2-game losing streak, suffering a disappointing 104-83 home loss to the Brooklyn Nets on Wednesday. Both teams will be playing the second game of a back-to-back series, which will likely test their stamina and endurance. This contest also marks the first of 2 scheduled meetings between these teams this season. The Nuggets may find themselves shorthanded for this game, as veteran guard Russell Westbrook has been listed on the injury report due to hamstring tightness. Meanwhile, the Hornets are dealing with even more significant injury concerns as they continue to play without several key contributors, including star guard LaMelo Ball and promising center Mark Williams. When analyzing advanced metrics, a significant disparity exists between these two teams. Denver ranks 7th in the NBA with a 4.1 net rating, indicating their overall efficiency on both ends of the court. In contrast, Charlotte ranks much lower, sitting at 24th with a net rating of -4.9, reflecting their ongoing struggles. Another key statistic that highlights the gap between these teams is their turnover percentage. The Nuggets take much better care of the basketball, ranking 13th in the league with a 14.1 turnover percentage. The Hornets, however, have been far more careless with possession, ranking 26th with a turnover percentage of 16.0. These numbers suggest that Denver has a clear edge in efficiency and ball control. Although the Nuggets have not looked their best during their recent 3-game skid, they managed to snap their losing streak with a gritty win last night. They enter this matchup as the clear favorites against a Hornets team that continues to struggle due to significant absences from their roster. Charlotte deserves credit for their effort in a competitive game against the Los Angeles Clippers last night, but expecting them to replicate that level of performance on consecutive nights against a strong Nuggets team seems unrealistic. Fatigue, roster depletion, and a clear talent disadvantage make it difficult to envision the Hornets keeping pace with Denver. Laying double-digit points on a road team playing on the second night of a back-to-back is not an ideal betting situation. However, the Hornets find themselves in an even worse predicament given their ongoing injury woes, particularly with the absence of LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. Playing in back-to-back games is always challenging for undermanned teams, and the Hornets will likely feel the toll of their limited depth in this contest. Denver, despite being the better team, has not been reliable when it comes to covering spreads, failing to do so in their last 3 games as a favorite. Additionally, they have a tendency to coast through stretches of games rather than maintaining high intensity for all 4 quarters. With several other appealing betting options available on this loaded NBA Saturday slate, this game may not be the most attractive one to wager on. However, if forced to make a selection, Denver appears to be the right choice in a dominant victory. It is difficult to put any faith in the Hornets without 2 of their best players on the court, so the Denver Nuggets to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both offenses have been struggling to put up points in recent games. Over their last 3 contests, the Nuggets have managed to score an average of just 112 points per game, while the Hornets have fared even worse, averaging only 102.5 points over their previous 4 outings. A closer look at their performance throughout the season reveals that both teams have had difficulties generating points off turnovers. Denver ranks in the middle of the league at 15th, scoring an average of 18 points per game off opponent mistakes. Meanwhile, Charlotte is among the league's ranks worst in this category, ranking 25th with just 16 points per game off turnovers. The Hornets tend to play at a relatively slow pace, ranking 23rd in tempo, which suggests they will likely attempt to control the game's pace rather than engaging in a fast-paced shootout with Denver. Given their depleted roster, it makes strategic sense for Charlotte to slow things down and limit the number of possessions. On the other side, the Nuggets could be dealing with tired legs after spending an extended period on the road, which could also lead to a slower offensive performance. Charlotte has struggled to put up points in recent games, as evidenced by the fact that they have gone under the total in 4 of their last 5 outings. Additionally, they have failed to surpass 107 points in 4 straight games, which is understandable considering they are without Ball, Miller, and Williams. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.